what they need. They cry differently if they are hungry, or need changing, or are just restless and want to be held. Babies can communicate pretty well before they can speak. This cry was none of those things. This cry was terror. The second we heard it, my wife and I were both up out of our chairs and running to the room. The door was locked, of course, and it took a few seconds to get the right key and get it open. My son was in the room. I stood by and allowed my wife...
Uh-oh. Yeah, what's up? Oh, I'm watching the Reddit shit. Oh, well, that's when part 1 ended, so I'm going to part 2 right now.
Stood by and allowed my wife to almost our son. I was happy she did it. My son hadn't given a shit about my wife being pregnant. I honestly don't know if he really understood it. But when we brought our daughter, I think we were the prisoners in our own home. The sound of my daughter screaming and wailing. The look on my son's face as he stood there. Just nothing.
Oh,
Looked up at us and smiled. Before I knew what I think he may have stolen it from locked drawers. I think he may have stolen it from one of our neighbors' houses. He had broken her skin twice already. Once in the belly, couldn't be held. Babies can communicate pretty well before they can speak.
Okay.
This cry was none of those things. This cry was terror. The second we heard it, my wife and I were both up out of our chairs and running to the room. The door was locked, of course, and it took a few seconds to get the right key and get it open. My son was in the room. We lived in a bungalow, and the bastard had climbed in the window to get to her. He was standing over her crib with a steak knife in his hand. I have no idea where he got it. It wasn't one of ours. We controlled our knives very carefully and always kept them in locked drawers. I think he may have stolen it from one of our neighbors' houses. He had broken her skin twice already, once in the belly area and once on her arm. I could see blood running down. When I entered the room, he was dragging the back of the knife down her face, not cutting, almost tickling her with it, teasing her while she screamed. He looked up at us and smiled. Before I knew what I was doing, I was already moving, running to put myself between them. I didn't think about it. I just moved instinctively. Even with that, my wife got there faster. It was like a movie on fast forward. She got to our son and bashed his hand away, knocking the knife across the room and then shoved him with her whole body weight, so hard that he flew away from the crib and bounced off the wall. I picked up my daughter and held her while my wife screamed us. I could see her shaking, almost convulsing. I can remember the smell of the room, the sound of my daughter screaming and wailing. The look on my son's face as he stood there. Just nothing. Blank. Dead. There was nothing in his eyes. No emotion. He looked like an alien to me. I watched my wife take a step toward him. I could have reached out and stopped her, but I didn't. She stepped forward again, very close to him. I could have stopped her again, but I didn't. She waited, looking at him for maybe 3 to 5 seconds without moving. And then she punched him in the face. Now until this point, you may have been picturing my wife as a typical woman, small frame, dainty, delicate. This is not the case. My wife does have a small frame, but dainty and delicate she is not. Never has been since I've known her. Since her early teens, my wife has been a boxer. MMA didn't exist back then, but karate and boxing were big in those days, and my wife was a very talented amateur. She was about 130 pounds. She carried a lot of muscle and she knew how to punch. I had 70 pounds on her back then, and I have no doubt that in a real fight between me and her she could have and would have pounded me flat. Neither of us had ever laid a hand on our son in anger before, but something broke in her that day, and all the years of anger and pain and sorrow and frustration just came pouring out. When she hit him, his head snapped back and blood started pouring out of his nose. He hardly reacted. He just looked at her with this shocked expression like he didn't know how to process what had just happened. She waited another second, and then she hit him again. I could have reached out and stopped her. I could have dragged her out of the room, taken her away, calmed her. I didn't. I just stood there and watched while she systematically started to pound him to a pulp. Every time he brought his hands to cover one part, she would blast him somewhere else. Body, head, over and over. He started screaming, crying out, yelling for her to stop. It's the most genuine reaction I'd ever seen him have to anything in his whole life. But she wasn't stopping. I watched her ramping up, hitting harder, faster, working him like a heavy bag. He tried to swing at her and she slipped him easily. She was on autopilot, sinking down into her training. I stood there watching for a minute. Then I turned my back on them and took my daughter out. I stood by and allowed my wife to almost our son. I stood by and allowed my wife to almost our son. I was happy she did it. I brought my daughter to the kitchen and gave her a bath in the sink. I found that he had cut her a third time on the sole of her foot. All the cuts were superficial. I cleaned her up and held her until she calmed. I put polysporin and band-aids on her cuts. In our bedroom, I could hear my son screaming, calling my wife horrible names, telling her he would cut her head off and make love to her corpse. After a while, I didn't hear him saying anything anymore. Didn't even hear him crying out. I assumed that he must have been knocked out, but I could still hear her beating him. That went on for a long time. Long enough for my daughter to drift off to sleep in my arms. I just sat at the kitchen table waiting for her to finish. Finally, she came out and sat down across from me. Her hands were swollen and red. Her face and arms were splattered with blood. Her chest was heaving. We just stared at each other without saying anything. After a while, I asked her, "Is he dead?" She looked back at me and answered, "I effing hope so." I nodded. That was all there was to say about that. I understood how she felt perfectly. I felt the same. I didn't know what to do, so we just sat there waiting silently. Eventually, my wife started crying and went to go take a shower. I just stayed where I was holding our daughter. After a long while, I heard moaning and sobbing coming from our room. It turned out that my son wasn't dead. I went in to see how bad it was, and it was pretty bad. I've never seen a more merciless beating laid onto anyone, before or since. He was lying on the floor, rolling around with blood leaking out of his face, lying in a pool of vomit. His nose was squashed flat out across his face. Both of his eyes were completely swollen shut and starting to blacken already. I could see that a couple of his fingers were bent out at weird angles and he had pissed his pants. I think he must have been missing teeth, but I couldn't see any on the floor and I couldn't see inside his mouth. His lips were all puffed up and swollen. From talking to my wife about it later, I know now that she had systematically beaten every part of his body, focusing heavily on his legs. She told me she kicked him in the groin repeatedly until her legs got tired, and had kept beating his body long after he had passed out. When my wife came out of the shower, I still didn't know what to do about our son. I didn't know whether to call the police or an ambulance, take him to the hospital myself. I honestly didn't have any idea what to do. After a while I realized that I simply didn't care what happened to him anymore, and we decided to just let him live or die on his own. There was an in-law suite in the basement that we had never really used, and my wife, my daughter and I just moved down there. We simply ceded the top floor of the house to my son and locked everything down, separated our lives entirely. There was plenty of food in the upstairs cabinets, enough for a couple weeks or more. He had a washroom and bedrooms to use. We had a washroom in the basement, a small kitchenette, and a separate entrance, so we just stopped going upstairs. We just decided we were done with him. I figured we'd let his food run out and see what happened. Over the next week we could hear him moving around upstairs sometimes. I think he just spent most of the time lying in bed recovering. I went to work, watching on high alert in case he attacked me in the driveway, but he never did. My wife stayed home with our daughter. She was never out of our sight. One night we heard him going ballistic, smashing things and banging. We didn't respond. He never tried to get downstairs or get near us though. I think he was afraid that if he got near us again, my wife might finish the job on him. After 3 weeks down in the basement, we hadn't heard anything from up above for a few days, and I ventured upstairs to the main floor of the house. The place was demolished, and there was no sign of my son. He was gone. It took months to repair the damage he had done and get the main floor back to normal again. There was food and shit smeared all over the walls and broken glass on the floor, big holes in the drywall. He had ripped the place apart. He tore up the linoleum in a corner of the kitchen and emptied an entire foam fire extinguisher into the living room. I feel thankful that he didn't burn the house down with us in it. I'm honestly not sure why he didn't. The kid wasn't shy about lighting things on fire. After that, I lived in fear every day that he would come back, that he would ambush us out of the blue and try to kill us. We moved house about 3 years later and I finally stopped being afraid that he would show up again, as now he had no idea where we were. I finally felt safe from him. All this happened a long time ago. My son was born in the spring of 1971. My daughter was born in '88. I'm an old man now. I'll be 70 this year and my wife passed from cancer in 2016. My daughter is 31 now. I moved in with her and her husband after my wife passed. I've got 2 granddaughters and they are the joy of my life. I see a therapist a couple times a month to talk about all this. I don't know where my son is. The last time I saw him was when he was lying on the floor of our bedroom, bleeding and smashed. I haven't heard from him since he left. More than 30 years now. I don't want to. I carry a lot of guilt from that time, and a lot of conflicted emotions. I didn't beat him myself, but I allowed him to be beaten, and I thought he deserved it. I was happy it happened. I didn't try to kill him, but I would have been happy if he died. I will say that I do hope he was able to overcome his demons and go live a normal life somewhere. If he wasn't able to do that, if he stayed the way he was, then I truly do hope someone out there killed him. When I knew him he was a rabid dog, and whichever way it went I just hope he isn't still out there hurting anyone else. I stood by.
Damn. And
I
his
stood
kid
by and
grew up
allowed
to
my
be
wife-
Richard Ramirez. No. Honestly, by the way the kid talks, I think he would be, if I'm being honest. Oh yeah, are you joining the thing? Oh, I invited you on your PlayStation. Yeah, I can, what's called, I could probably send you a link on your phone. Yeah, I have a link. Share. Messages. Oh, on PlayStation? That's so much work. I was gonna send it to your I was gonna send it to your number. William Anthony Backus III. There we go. Alrighty, William Backus. Nah. Well, just for a little bit, but I think that's it. You ready? Type of atomic adventure. What do you want to do? Challenge, perfect your post-apocalyptic skills, unlock fancy rewards in these special challenging adventures. Experience a post-apocalyptic, one-of-a-kind survival. Survive in your fallout shelter with randomly selected supplies. Full atomic experience, scavenge your surroundings of your house for supplies, and then survive in the post-apocalyptic in your fallout shelter. Alright, but that's this one. Yeah. Select character, Ted or Dolores. Select difficulty. Scavenge time 60 seconds, exploration time 0 seconds. Stock shelter empty. Pack suitcase nothing. Health issues call 911. Jesus Christ. Fragile equipment like glass. Unwanted visitors, hordes. Fat man. Expiration time 10 seconds. Stock shelter some junk. Pack suitcase, work briefcase. Health issues common. Fragile equipment average. That one's nice. And a little boy is fat. Dolores or Ted? Doesn't really matter. But Dolores or Ted? Soup can be stored for 37 years. You can still watch though, right? Alright. Oh shit. Oh shit. I don't want to drop that. Oh shit. Oh shit. Wait, how do I drop shit? God damn it. Oh! I'm dumping it. Oh shit, I accidentally killed my family, bro. I forgot to grab them. Yeah, you had to get them in the shelter. Oh shit. Did I die? No fucking way. I didn't know you had to go and dump it in the shelter. That makes so much sense. Dude, I don't know, maybe. I think it's funny if I did, though. No way. That is crazy, dude. Oh! I ain't get jack shit, dude. You perished? That's what. Day survival 1. This one just 0. Jesus Christ, bro. Nah, I just died. If you choose the character you play as, then that's different, right? But yeah, because I forgot. Dude, I sat there because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know I was supposed to just get that shit and dump it. If that was the case, I would have got so much more shit. Alright, where's my name? I'm a bitch. I'll play steady this time. Essence of life. Basis of survival. Axe. Here's the gas mask. Come on, damn, she's that fat, I can't pick her up, bro. Damn, this bitch takes 3 shits, bro. God damn. Oh shit, you're right. 60 seconds, yeah. Willie's watching right now. Willie's a few seconds behind me, so you saw me just barely make it.
Oh, bro. Bro, I was doing some isometrics, bro. I was holding a lunge and I was like, lay up. Oh, what the frick? Oh,
I get my wife? I don't think I did.
Yo, how you
I
get
didn't.
your wife?
I didn't get my wife, bro.
Forgot your
So
wife.
here we are, the three of us saved since we just need to make it now. I really wish it was the four of us. We opened the shelter and noticed some supplies on it. We're already stocked. We can't really say. We recap. Our shelves are full of cans. We eat from cans, so we'll sleep on cans. We'll even talk cans. Some of us already do. There's barely enough water for everyone. We have to ration it strictly. Time to ration supplies. Your fat ass can wait. Yeah, dead ass. He's outright dead, yeah. I'll make that fat bitch wait. Everyone can eat, just you guys. See, well, being safe down here is much better than being pulverized out there, but that doesn't mean we don't want to go outside. Maybe we can take a walk soon. The neighborhood is pretty much a more peaceful situation. Day 2. Let's go. Already stumbled in a day? That is crazy. Take the L. Seth says there's no need to worry about him. He's okay. Mary Jane is feeling safe. Who wouldn't? Timmy's good. Well, at least he was 5 minutes ago. Ted's good. Everyone's good. Ted is rigorous enough to withstand the barriers of the way. Jane is ready to go and scavenge. Timmy says he seems quite enthusiastic about the trip. Yeah. Oh shit, no radio, no flashlight. Everything is shaking and jumping. Cars are all over the place if I... At least we got the gas mask. Everyone okay? I hope so. We need to make proper inspection. That was one of the nastiest earthquakes. We never used such bad ones before then. What? Time to ration supplies. Who should go outside? Water is what Mary Jane needs. Tim's been talking about nothing other than water. He should drink some. Ted seems to be doing alright, although the world is not like a happy place. Okay, then everyone eats except for everyone drinks except for Ted. Ted, you're going outside. Oh shit! I sent him outside with nothing. That sucks. Hopefully he comes back. Ted left for the surface. We'll hope he's back soon. Mary Jane no longer thirsty. Timmy's no longer thirsty. Alright. Confined spaces are not a very friendly environment. We gotta quickly get over some trivial things. If this keeps up, we won't find ourselves in a nasty place. Y'all have a chessboard, bro. Use it. Be very peaceful. Day 5. We stopped arguing, but for how long? It's impressive how well Mary Jane is handling the situation. It looks fine today. No good news. Nothing's new going on to me. We discussed everything one could willingly do. Chat. Oh fuck! I don't have the radio. Damn! Look at those niggas. Can we spare some water? Mary Jane has been asking about it all day. Mary Jane is really tired. Timmy prefers apple juice, but right now we should get him some water. Timmy's really tired. Yeah, hold on. Let me get these niggas some food and some water. Fuck, we're about to run out of water, bro. Dude, why does it look so malnourished? Holy shit. Say ignorance is bliss. Another day without a clue of what might necessarily kill us. When Mary Jane is tired, she becomes cranky. She should be better in a few days. Mary Jane is no longer thirsty. Timmy isn't rested. He's no longer thirsty. Spiders seem to be operating under the assumption that they have the same rights to the shelters we do. They're everywhere. Bugs spray, baby. I should have got the radio. I forgot how important the radio is. If there's one thing that can drive spiders away and stop us from harming the furniture, the bug spray. That was the right time to unleash the deadly weapon. The results were excellent. You had 404 of those little bastards. Mary Jane's still tired. Let's give her some time to recover. We got some water for it though. When we opened the bunker door this morning to let in some fresh radioactive air, we still discovered a small suitcase on our doorstep. Should we take a look? What you think, Lily? We should take a look. Riz face. Oh, what the fuck happened to her arm? Damn it. The gift was booby-trapped. There was nothing inside besides some junk, and as soon as we opened it, it exploded. When Mary Jane is tired, she becomes cranky. She should be better in a few days. Mary Jane is into water is what Mary Jane needs knows. Timmy needs some water. Let's get him some water. Yeah, let's get Timmy some water right now. A knock on the door is not something we take lightly these days. Someone making our doorstep offering a high profitable game of cards. We weren't conceded. This is a bet. It's 2 soup cans. I don't have cards, bro. Hopefully the random event is Ted coming back, bro. We need Ted back, bro. That nigga's dead, bro. Gambling is a terrible habit. What kind of example would that set for the kids? We need supplies, but we're not getting them like that. We'd sooner rob someone. We sent a man. We sent that man away. Good riddance. Injury, Mary Jane might take a while to heal. Mary Jane's still tired. Let's give her some time to recover. They're no longer thirsty. Okay. Let's chill. As long as we have food and shelter to stay locked in, we have a bench. We'll be good to head. Okay, next time I need to make sure to bring the radio. Oh, he's back. What you bring, bro? Oh shit, he's sick. Nigga, did you not bring anything either? If there's one thing we need to do, it's radio on a regular basis to catch any emergency broadcast that might be transmitted. The first option sounds like a bit more sense. Ted has safely returned to his voyage. The local school is building a mile block away from our house. Nobody liked that place. The atomic blast didn't change that. Now, with the windows and walls remaining, it looked more unpleasant. Pleasant or not, it seemed like a good spot to hunt for some useful supplies. We got food and we got the scout book. Ted is hungry. Ted is sick. Ted, oh, he's really tired. Yeah, let's get Ted some food, bro. He's hungry. I feel that. Yeah. Actually, let's get everyone some food. Fuck it. We have some to spare. You think we send Timmy out? He can't. He's sick. We can't send him outside. We can't send Ted or Mary Jane outside because they're both sick and hurt, respectively. So should we send Timmy to the surface? Yeah, that's the whole reason Ted got sick. I forgot about the mask. When you send them outside... Oh, I could send Ted outside, actually, you're right. We could send Ted outside again, or we could send Timmy out, because Timmy's all well and good. Alright. Alright, Timmy, get ready to go outside, bro. We answered the phone. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They introduced themselves to... Oh shit, Willie. Reed. We answered the phone. We could clearly hear a gasp of relief from the caller. They introduced themselves as a survivor from a nearby town of Hill Valley. We had started exchanging information when the call was cut short. Something must have gone wrong on their side. We hope they will get back to us. You think we're gonna get raided? Mary Jane might not admit it, but we're pretty sure she wants to get her injuries patched up. Mary Jane is still tired. Let's give her more time. Can we spare some water? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? You can go without water for a bit. You can go without water because you're going outside. Everyone should eat, though. Oh, Timmy also needs something to drink. He'll be fine because he's going outside. What is this? gas mask, Boy Scout book. What is that? Should I send him out with the gas mask, Willie? He can only take one thing though. So, gas mask, or should I send him out with the Boy Scout book? So that he could survive. I feel like we should... Because it's like... You... I mean, yeah... But right now, Ted is the only one that's sick, and we could use the... And Timmy's all good and well. Nah, you want to send Ted back out? We could have sent him outside, but we kind of fucking waited a little too long. Alright, we'll learn firsthand what happens if what's called... I sent him out with this Boy Scout book. I mean, it's a book on how to survive, so maybe he doesn't get radiation poisoning. Ted is tired. A few days of rest is what he needs. Ted isn't hungry anymore. Mary Jane has... It may take a while to heal. She's sleepy all the time. She has no energy for anything. Mary Jane keeps fainting. We really need to find her something to drink fast. Oh yeah, let me get her some drink. Some drink. Claustrophobia is so difficult, especially in a little cluttered bunker. Maybe we could open the door for just a few minutes to let some air in. What do you think? Nah? You want to? You want to flip for it? Okay. I wonder what could possibly happen too. Oh no, I think they're good. Open the door and letting the container in was a great idea. Now instead of phobias, we need to deal with vomiting. Ted's stomach is stomach. Let's give her some time to recover. Jane is no longer thirsty. Can take a lot, but her wounds... Oh, I can't do anything about her wounds though. That's just tough. Mary Jane has been awfully silent today. This is unlike her. Should we try talking to her? Yeah. You think so? No, I can't. What's called? Mary Jane has been silent. Should we talk to her? See if she does anything? Alright. Someone knocked on our door? Yo. Nothing solves the problem better than an honest conversation with over a hot beverage. We don't have the latter, but talking alone seems to do. Ted's hungry. He's thirsty. Okay. We'll get him food. We'll get her food. Fuck it. And then they both need water. But we're almost out of that shit. Ted said he needed water to survive. Mary Jane seemed alright, right? Yeah. That is true. Is there someone... If there's one sure way to get attention, it's definitely banging on our shelter door. Whoever it is, they're quite persistent. They've been at it for 5 minutes. Should we open? Nah, he would get in the shelter. But I agree. I mean, so did, what's his face? Oh, they patched her up. And they gave us water. A group of travelers wearing gas masks carrying some serious looking equipment gave us purified water. Before we could thank them, they turned and left. Opening the hatch was a bit risky, but it seems to give us some awful Oh, that coffin is driving us crazy. Ted hasn't recovered. Ted isn't thirsty or hungry. Mary Jane can take a lot, but she's tired. She's rested, she's thirsty, and she has something to drink. Okay, everyone's good. Our patient is wearing thin. We thought it should be a great idea to take a quick look outside and see if there's any trouble in the area. As we were about to step out, an animal flashed in the darkness, and their owners started growling in the most terrifying way. We only had moments to decide what to do. Oh, shotgun or rifle. Oh shit, gunshot. Oh! Where'd Mary Jane go? A quick shot to the rifle was more than enough to scare away, or maybe bring down whatever creature stared at us in the darkness. We never saw it again. Something should be done with Ted's sickness. Mary Jane's injuries were enough to make her angry at us, or at least the fact that we decided not to do anything about them. When we got up, we found a note at her claiming she deserves better, and that she should have left, and that she had left for Canada because it has a better public healthcare system. That is crazy to me. Oh, okay. Yep, there she goes. If there's anyone to come rescue us from this hellish situation, it's our government. You can badmouth them all you want, but that probably means you're either a naysayer or a commie. We're good citizens. We've been paying our taxes regularly, so we're sure Uncle Sam is coming to get us. Well, except one time when we... Never mind. The government people are coming. We should open our ears and eyes for any sign from them. Go for it. I'm gonna keep playing. There's one thing we need to do is use a radio on a regular basis to catch any emergency broadcasts. Ted hasn't recovered from his illness. Where's water when Ted needs it? Okay, let me give bro water. It's just him now. Less mouths to feed. Where did that green puddle come from? Oh dear, a pipe is leaking green goo. That's not good. That's not good at all. We need to act now. No one packed a mop. What do we do? Oh, Timmy's back. My man. Oh shit, he's sick. What's up? Hey, problem solved. No leak, no mess. Back to our tidy little shelter. When we were so afraid for Timmy, but he came back from the wasteland and is safe with us now. Our expedition was able to get a local hospital. It appears that the blast blew up some of the upper floors, beds with some patients still on them. Shreds of medical equipment were lying all over the place. However, after exploring the first floor, we concluded that a majority of people inside of the building evacuated in time. The canteen had a resupply of tomato, and we had water. We got a med kit. Nice. That handbook was really useful. Too bad we lost it during the expedition. Really good. Our little trip to the surface might have been spotted and followed. We might be more careful next time. Ted hasn't recovered. Ted's no longer thirsty. Ted's stomach is rumbling. Timmy should eat. He's really tired and he's sick. Okay. And then Ted, you are hungry. That's fine. And then I could heal one of them. Ted's been sick for longer and he can do more. Timmy's at the question. Actually, let's skip an expedition right now. We got followed last time. Timmy noticed his old telescope in a pile of rubble on the other side of the street. He really tried to get excited about stargazing. After all, the night sky is one of the few things that still look about the same after the blast. Should we let Timmy go outside and stare pointlessly at the sky? I'll wait for Willie for this decision. What's up? You said what?
Word.
Accepting the break term. When your girl say let's take a break, she wants another man to break her guts. You hear me? Yeah. Or she might tell you like, oh, I want to focus right now. I got a lot going on. When a girl tells you this, bro, she lost all interest, bro. Move on. This is her nice way of going about it. Let me tell you something, bro. If you ever take a break from a girl and you know she smashed another dude during that break, and you take her back, you a sucker, my boy. Like, tighten up. So, a female that's always threatening to leave you over a petty disagreement or guys, walk away from this shit, bro. Imagine being a grown man walking on eggshells in your relationship. This is full-on female manipulation. That's what being a little bitch, you know what I'm saying? So when she says, oh, I'm gonna leave, you're like, listen, the door's right there. I ain't stopping you, bro. Guess what? She's not gonna leave, bro. You being a man who's standing up to a BS. She's just trying to put you in a state of fear and panic, bro. But don't fall for it. Be a man. Matter of fact, you walk away, bro. Show her that you don't care. You don't need her. You're gonna be good with or without her. 3, any type of disrespect, bro. Small or big. Close. Her hanging up on the phone with you. Her blocking you. She's mad. Let me tell you something. This is where it starts when it gets worse. Give a girl an inch, and she gonna take a value. Or you dealing with a party girl.
Bro, that was literally Jolene in a nutshell, bro. All four is crazy, bro.
Like the party of the weekend where friends and getting drunk, right? Guys, let me tell you something. At parties, there's a lot of bad decisions. Drugs, alcohol, guys, right? One day she's gonna cheat on you, and she'll be like, oh, I didn't know. It was a mistake. I was drunk. Don't say I didn't warn you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy that Jolene went 4 for 4 with that shit, bro.
Absolutely no way we're serving Gordon or Wellington with this song. Scuba, start laying out the prosciutto.
Okay, we need to make a bunch of perfect layers. Guys, you gotta step it up. Literally get 15 minutes to get this in the oven or we're done.
To finish this up, we're gonna patch it up with prosciutto wherever we see it open.
The final step to bring it all together is to spread our decks out.
This has sat in the fridge overnight, and we have to make sure it's in a nice, perfect layer over our prosciutto. Everything looks pretty spread out right now, but it'll all come together shortly.
I'm excited to roll this thing up, but I'm gonna leave it in this. I'm not gonna lie. I hope it stays together.
We only have 5 minutes left to get this thing in the oven. We're gonna start rolling it, keeping it as tight as we possibly can, because there could be no gaps in any Wellington. Be careful. Oh shit, the prosciutto's going on. Well done, guys.
Good job.
We're gonna push these tables together. Now we'll continue rolling it up. Be careful here. And aside from cutting it open and feeding it to Gordon, this is definitely the scariest part of this challenge. And we had to bring in all hands on deck to finish this off. We are so close here, we just have to paint the whole thing in egg wash.
2 minutes left, guys.
We'll carefully place our lattice pattern over the Wellington.
And reposition it to make it look nice and pretty. And we'll finish it off with a bit more of that wash.
And finally, a nice pinch of salt. We have to be extremely careful right now. Let's break a Guinness World Record.
We're making the world's largest beef.
because this is when the meat could split totally apart. For me, this is a bit of...
You said what? What is July?
I followed the instructions on the bathroom stall. It was the greatest mistake of my life. I was in the bathroom stall of a local pub when I saw writing on the door that said, "Follow the arrows." I looked around, but I didn't see any arrows. Whatever, I didn't think about it. Then, about a month after that, I'm back in the same place. I used the restroom to wash my hands before I tear into some buffalo wings. They were out of paper towels. Not wanting to touch the restroom door with my hands, I tried to open it with my elbows. This was a clumsy process that resulted in my bumping a light switch with my elbow. The room went completely dark. Or did it? On the ceiling, I noticed a trail of glow-in-the-dark arrows painted onto the ceiling. They were very, very faded, looking like they'd been there for quite a while. They led out the door. Now I had totally forgotten about the graffiti I had read a month ago, so I didn't really think about those arrows at all. I just pulled my sleeve over my wet hand, used it to flip the switch back on and open the door. It wasn't until the end of the evening when my brain, out of nowhere, remembered to follow the arrows graffiti in the stall. I excused myself from the table, just to check that it was this stall where I saw the writing. It was. Now I had a mystery. I wanted to follow the arrows, but I couldn't. After I left the restroom, the ambient light was so bright that the arrows were invisible. I told my friends about the arrows and asked the bartender about it. He knew about the graffiti, but had never seen the glow-in-the-dark arrows. After about 15 minutes of pouring drinks, he took a minute to go check it out. He didn't seem that impressed. I asked him if we could stay after closing and turn off all the lights to see where it went. He said yes. Flash forward 2 hours. The bartender and some of the waitresses are all standing around in the dark at the bar, looking at little faded arrows that make a trail from the restroom out to the front door. We step outside, but the trail is dead. The streetlights outside make the faded glow in the dark arrows impossible to see. But this wouldn't stop me. 3 days later, I'm in the geology building at my college when I notice the display of exotic minerals that the department has in a display case. Inside the case is a small, handheld black light used by rockhounds to find and observe glow-in-the-dark minerals. After the class, I ask the professor if I can borrow it. He says yes, but then if I break it, I owe the department $45. Flash forward 9 hours. I drag my buddies back to the bar. We have some more drinks and also buffalo wings. When we're done gorging ourselves, it is already dark outside. I went to the bathroom and tested my black light on some of the painted arrows. It looked like a charm. They glowed incredibly brightly, and even with the lights on, they were fairly visible. I went back to the table. We pay our tab and step onto the street. My friends stood around me, trying to look cool, while I was geeking out with my black light searching for invisible arrows on the ground. I found one. I followed the arrow, keeping my black light inches from the ground, waving it back and forth. 5 feet away, I found another arrow. Then another, and another still. Now we were going somewhere. I was following these arrows down the sidewalk for about 2 blocks. My friends finally loosened up and started speculating on where these arrows were taking us. Finally, I got to an arrow pointing us in a new direction. It was a driveway leading to an empty commercial lot of some kind. The lot was surrounded by cyclone fences with aluminum siding, so we couldn't see what was inside. The arrows led us around the fence to a gate. I saw a lot of glow-in-the-dark paint under my light, and it took me a few seconds and some swinging of the light to realize we were looking at a giant arrow pointing inside the fence. I guess I should introduce you to my friends now. One was Jeff, one was Dave. Jeff pushed on the gate. It was locked and it rattled terribly in the dark. Dave looked uncomfortable. He took a deep breath, and before he could suggest we go home, I cut him off. I say we hop the fence. Jeff didn't even say anything before he leapt against the gate, getting a firm handhold at the top. Ungracefully, but successfully, he pulled himself to an uncomfortable strap on top of the gate. I followed suit, leaping at the gate. Dave followed next with surprising ease. From our perch on the gate, we could see that the fence surrounded what looked like an old parking lot. Grass and other green things sprang up from the ancient, crumbled asphalt. Immediately below us, on the other side of the fence, was nothing but inky blackness from the shadow cast by the gate from a nearby street lamp. To my surprise, Dave was the first one to slide down into the dark. He slid down the fence as low as possible before letting go and taking the final plunge. "It's okay," he said. "I can see a little. It's just asphalt." Jeff and I dropped down from the fence. I pulled out my light and quickly found an arrow. We followed a new trail slowly, and it quickly became clear that we were being led to a small shack in the middle of the parking lot. "I know what this is," said Dave. "I think this all used to be a drive-in. black light the more arrows it found up. Dave shrugged. So, what? The arrows used to lure people to line up on corner. Looks like, Jeff said. We walked around the building until we came to the door in the back. It was secured by an old combination padlock. My black light hung from a tie on my wrist. I thought I had shut it off now that our mystery was solved. But out of the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of glowing paint. I aimed my light at it. Whoa, said Dave. There on the door, in sharp, new glowing paint was scrolled 1356. Holding the black light close, we quickly rotated the wheels on the lock. Jeff pulled it open with a satisfying click. Pulling the padlock aside, we pushed on the old door. It creaked ominously and got stuck when it was about a third of the way open. Jeff kicked his foot around the inside and moved an obstruction with thud. The door opened halfway now, and Jeff peeked inside. I can't see anything, he said. I peeked inside the door, shining my black light. It was useless. I cursed myself for not bringing a real flashlight. A black light and a cell phone were not enough to explore in there. It's useless, I said, as I pulled back from the door. Dave took his turn peering in. Just as I was about to suggest we head back to return another day, I heard a click, and a dim light appeared within the building. Holy crap, said Dave. I flipped the light switch, but I never thought in a million years that it would work. Jeff said, yeah, this place looks like it's been out of use for like 30 years, at least. Look at this parking lot. There are trees in it. Someone's still paying the bills, I said. In hindsight, this should have tipped us off that something wasn't right. But in the moment, we headed into the building. We walked in and saw a surprisingly clean concession stand interior. There was thin coating of that strange sort of dust that accumulates in the absence of heat. The sort of dust you would expect to find in aging too. The shelves were empty, and a cabinet stood on the far side of the room, doors closed. Dave walked to it and opened it cautiously. Initially, Dave and I went to look at all these old snacks on the shelves. Before I could examine further, Jeff said, dudes, check this out. He was standing over a hatch in the floor. He pulled it up and was peering into the dark. Maybe there's another light down there? He bounded down a set of steps into the cellar. Dave and I followed close behind, trying to find a switch along the way. If I hadn't been in such a hurry to keep up with Jeff, I might have noticed that the black light I had dropped was illuminating some more glowing paint. And if I had noticed that, I might also have noticed that the paint-painted arrow was pointing directly towards this basement hatch. And if I had noticed that, it might have given me pause. But I did not notice these things. I was halfway to the bottom of the stairs when I heard a click. My eyes were immediately drawn to a glow in the corner of the basement. Jeff said, found it. We walked toward the light, bumping into empty shelves and some strange debris along the way. Canvas bags, like sacks of potatoes. They were covered in dust. I was more concerned with the shelf under the light. It held what I recognized as old film canisters. Truly, these were treasure. We hurried over, reading the titles. Lots of things with monsters. Dracula Returns, Night of the Wolf People. Great stuff. But I didn't recognize any of the titles. We all jumped when we heard it. There was whirring sound. Very loud, coming from near the stairs. It sounded somehow familiar, like a garbage disposal or some electric power tool. We saw the shadows.
Spire, do you want to watch my
We had nearly knocked over the
60 seconds gameplay?
I had involuntarily thrown my hands over my ears.
Tune into the stream, dog.
Frightened expressions on their faces.
Yeah.
Looked the same. At last the sound stopped.
I don't know what happened to him.
Our hearts beating hard in our chests. Then, as if awakening from a trance, we all ran over to the hatch to investigate. My mind could not comprehend what it saw. Was the ceiling upstairs covered in black stripes? No. My eyes finally
You said what?
The hatch we had just come down moments ago was now blocked by iron bars. We were trapped, but by who? I followed the instructions on the bathroom stall. It was the greatest mistake of my life. I was in the bathroom stall of a local pub when I saw writing on the door that said, follow the arrows. I looked around, but I didn't see any arrows. Whatever, I didn't think about it. Then, about a month after that, I'm back in the same place. I used the restroom to wash my hands before I tear into some buffalo wings. They were out of paper towels. Not wanting to touch the restroom door.
Shake! I'm sorry, man. Getting Princess here is impossible. They all just think I'm in love with them. I can't do it. You're gonna have to spend the rest of your life in this witch's butt. Quiet down, I'm daydreaming.
Dude, if they think you like them, then use that. Embrace it. Find the least terrible princess you can. Play her some music, cook her a meal, smooth talk her until she likes you, and then get the hair.
Wait, you mean like go on a date?
Marry a princess if you need to. Just cut her hair.
Okay, hold on. Princess Bubblegum.
Hi, Finn.
I need you to come with me.
Why? I'm watering right now.
Just, come on. We don't have much time.
What is this, Finn?
We're gonna have a spaghetti dinner.
Whoa, really? Where do we sit?
Put your butt here. Hurry.
Oh.
Damn. Watch. Watch, Spire, watch. Chris.
Shove this in your mouth. It's hot.
Willie,
Okay.
bro, why don't you don't want to watch Willie? What happened, bro? He just died.
Really?
You can't watch on the toilet, nigga.
Yes. Now give me some of your hair.
Don't you think you have some sort of telepathic relationship with dogs? I think I do. I think that's what
Over. Alright, Sparrow, come on, brother. I told you to join the stream. Oh, okay, then I'll just start a share play. Are you autistic?